Cremate me, O fire ever venerable. Gut first the feet that cannot afford to walk, then the hands that no longer contain love or candor. Now in the trap of hands there's the ice of flowers. Now on the edge of shoulders there's the void of commitment. These all you must gut to get to where the heart is. And there, stop still for a second. And then you go burning, burning, the wisdom seat looming still, in color and in whiteness, in truth and in falsehood. Excuse the eyes. They perhaps have still something left to see. Ruin them when all their tears are shed. Pray, do not cinch the garlands and the bouquets, disheveled as they are by their scents. The loving touch of hands still linger on them. Do let them float away free and anarchic down the waters of the Ganga. O fire, forever venerable, cremate me.
This is Shakti Chattopadhyay in a poem written in 1985. Though burning hearts, funeral pyres, death and cremation are not very new themes in his poetry, yet the poem and the book named after it mark a very special change in his life and writing. For someone who has changed considerably in style over 4 decades, this change to poems of death and cremation is a signal one. His critics and admirers have cited this as a spiritual change. To some, this highly autobiographical poet, even his prose, fiction and non-fiction are autobiographical, appears to have been writing since 1985 his own obituaries in verse. From death and cremation, Shakti Chattopadhyay, aged 57, born the 25th of November 1933, has no escape. For 6 years, he has been living a kind of posthumous life. Shakti was born here, a small village called Boharu, bordering on the southern districts of Calcutta. This well side has figured repeatedly in Shakti's prose and poetry. Kuotala, or Well Side, is the title of his first autobiographical novel. Where he culled from his Boharu experiences scenes to depict a lonely, rather silent boyhood. the chirping of birds, the whistle of an Orai breeze through the Devdaru trees, even the silent acoustics of a moon reflected in the waters of the well, built up his first memories of sound and rhyme. He has celebrated this pastoral situation in innumerable pieces of poetry and some memorable prose. One such poem is Ononto Kuo Jole Chand Pore Ache. The moon lies in the waters of an endless well.
যদি কোনো পৃথিবীর কিশলয়ে বেশে থাকো ভালো, যদি কোনো আন্তরিক পর্যটনে জানালার আলো দেখে যেতে চেয়ে থাকো, তাহাদের ঘরের ভিতরে আমাকে যাবার আগে বলো, তাও নেব সঙ্গে করে। ভুলে যেও নাকো তুমি, আমাদের উঠানের কাছে অনন্ত কুয়ার জলে চাঁদ পড়ে আছে।
This College Street coffee house bearer, Ramu, has been serving coffee to Shakti and his friends Sunil Gangopadhyay, Sharat Mukhopadhyay, Sandipon Chattopadhyay, Binoy Mujumdar, Amitabh Dasgupta, Devkumar Bosu and others from the days of the Krittibash magazine for the last 37 years. This coffee house has served Shakti and his tribe as almost the official headquarters of all kinds of literary movements. At one of the tables here, the then prose writer Shakti Chattopadhyay accepted a challenge to produce a poem and wrote his very first piece, John. Thus, in 1957 was launched Shakti Chattopadhyay, the poet. Shakti at Presidency College. He studied science here for a while and then took up comparative literature in a different university, Jadavpur. Among his teachers there was the senior poet Buddhadev Bosu, in whose poetry journal Kobita he wrote some of his early poems. The early Shakti was a bohemian par excellence in poetry as well as his personal lifestyle. This is a period when Shakti continuously invents new styles, new rhythms, new idioms and patterns of expression. His poems reflect his systemless days and nights, his frantic boozing in the oddest possible company, and the long, hard days of toil to find the right poetic equivalent for his violent states of mind. One celebrated poem of this period offers almost a graphic description of how his nights were spent.
ফুটপাত বদল হয় মধ্যরাত, বাড়ি ফেরার সময় বাড়ির ভিতর বাড়ি, পায়ের ভিতর পা, বুকের ভিতরে বুক, আর কিছু নয়।
It's a trembling from head to foot. Walls merge into walls, cornices into cornices. Pavements change in the middle of the night. It's time for homecoming. Home within home, feet within feet, heart within heart, and nothing else.
আমাকে তুই আনলি কেন? ফিরিয়ে নে। যে মুখ অন্ধকারের মতো শীতল, চোখ দুটি রিক্ত হ্রদের মতো কৃপণ করুন, তাকে তোর মায়ের হাতে ছুঁয়ে ফিরিয়ে নিতে বলি।
This field no more. Feet etched sore by paddy shoots, trodding through bodies of spinach. Why have you brought me here? Take me back.
Shokti is the author of some 60-odd books of poetry, a dozen books of translation from Sanskrit, from Baudelaire, Rilke, Heine, Ghalib, Lorca, some Latin American and black poets, and some 10 books of non-fictive prose, like travelogues. He's an inveterate traveller and knows most of India's forests, mountains, rivers and seashores, like his immediate neighborhood. He has also produced essays on such diverse subjects as poetry, love, friends, good old times, food, and even drinking.
মরিলো মরি আমায় বাঁশিতে ডেকেছে কে, ভেবেছিলেন ঘরে রব, কোথাও যাব না, ভেবেছিলেন ঘরে রব, কোথাও যাব না, ভেবেছিলেন ঘরে রব, কোথাও যাব না, ওই যে বাহিরে বাজিল বাঁশি, বলো কি করি আমায় বাঁশিতে ডেকেছে কে, মরিল রে আমায় বাঁশিতে ডেকেছে কে।
How does his poetry come to him? Like his famous Obuni, Bari acho? Obuni, are you in?
Actually, the poem came to me in Hijli, when I was in Hijli, Midnapur district, along with two of my friends who were teaching in the school. They were in school, I drank 2 bottles of Mahua, and the poem came instantly to me in a trance, and I took out some papers and wrote the poem, the whole poem, in 5 minutes. It was a product of mid-60s. অবনী বাড়ি আছো? দুয়ার এঁটে ঘুমিয়ে আছে পাড়া, কেবল শুনি রাতের কড়া নাড়া। অবনী বাড়ি আছো? বৃষ্টি পড়ে এখানে 12 মাস, এখানে মেঘ গাভীর মতো চরে। বৃষ্টি পড়ে এখানে 12 মাস, এখানে মেঘ গাভীর মতো চরে। পরাণ মুখ সবুজ নালি ঘাস দুয়ার চেপে ধরে। অবনী বাড়ি আছো? আধে লীন হৃদয় দূরগামী, ব্যথার মাঝে ঘুমিয়ে পড়ি আমি। সহসা শুনি রাতের কড়া নাড়া। অবনী বাড়ি আছো?
Shokti by profession is a journalist. All practical licenses are extended to him. He never was a 10-to-5er. His primary commitments and obligations are to nature, his own free will and his poetry.
সেই চরণের বরণমালা গাঁথে বসে, ক্ষণে ক্ষণে আপন মনে আমায় থাকতে দে, আমায় থাকতে দে না। হেমন্তের অরণ্যে আমি পোস্টম্যান ঘুরতে দেখেছি অনেক। তাদের হলুদ ঝুলি ভরে গিয়েছিল ঘাসে আবিল ভেড়ার পেটের মতন। কতকালের পুরানো নতুন চিঠি কুড়িয়ে পেয়েছে ওই হেমন্তের অরণ্যের পোস্টম্যানগুলি।
Those postmen of the autumn forest, I have seen them secretly pecking like cranes for fish without pause, so profusely mysterious and alert in their business. They are not like the postmen we know, through whom we continually keep losing our splendid letters of love.
This poem is a fine example of Shokti mixing his mood with memory. The green forest merges easily into his idea of a woman, though both images at one level are independent of each other. Shokti's mental geography is one endless green forest, interrupted by small hills, green dales, and forlorn rest houses. He fondly remembers in one poem a small house on a hillock.
টিলার উপরে সেই বাড়িটির কথা মনে পড়ে। সামনে ঘোড়া নিম গাছ, পিছনে ইদারা, এক পাশে নাবাল মাঠ, অন্য পাশে টেবিল পাহাড়, তাতে বাগিচার ফুল, ছোটখাটো ওঁরাও পল্লীর ঠাস চাপা ছবি। ভেঙে সূর্য ডুবে যায় লাল রবারের বল হারানোর মতো। দূরে রোরো, বাবলার ঘনচ্ছায়ে কাঁচ পোকা টিপ, তারাও নক্ষত্রে সেই আকাশ ভাসানো, হাওয়ায় হাড়িয়া গন্ধে বনফুল বাসে। মনে পড়ে টিলার উপরে সেই বাড়িটির কথা অবিনাশ।
Thus, despite his lifelong obsession with death and cremation, he has refused to leave this world right now. In his Sahitya Academy Award-winning book, Jete Pari, Kintu Keno Jabo, I could leave, but why must I? He has continuously shifted between the two extreme thoughts of quitting life and staying on. Integral to the passion play of his life are his 2 children, daughter Titi and son Tatar, through whom he wants to discover a new sense of living. Memories of his mother, who died in 1991, and his father, who died when Shakti was 3 or 4. Memories of the early years of his marriage, the hard, trying days of financial worries and parenthood, keep him nostalgic in a rather premature old age. Thus, the Shakti who had written his epitaph in his late 40s.
After a period of good times, he died an ordinary death. This man, who was a poet and quite a beggar to boot. On his demise, the publishers mounted a festival, for with him gone, it was relief at last. No more of him at evenings, neatly dressed and calling for cash, always with threats of rampage or carnage of the archives. Come out with the cash, or this house meets fire and dash. Yet fire took toll of him, that poet and beggar.
Nevertheless, stares back at life from his supposed funeral pyre and declares in no uncertain terms, "Jete pari, kintu keno jabo?"
It's better to turn round, I think. I have smeared my hands with so much dirt for so long. Never thought of you the way you are. Now, when I stand near gorges at night time, I hear the moon calling, "Come, come hither, come." Now, when I stand asleep on the banks of the Ganga, the logs of the funeral pyre beckon, "Come, come over, come." I could go in whatever direction I chose. I could, but why should I? Holding my child's face in both hands, I shall plant instead a kiss. I shall leave, but not just now, not at this inconvenient hour and just by myself. When I go, I shall take you, all of you, with me.